Oh my gosh, Hosam, thank you so much for coming on. I love interviewing our sellers that recently exited. Yesterday was the big announcement, so congrats.
Thank you so much, Christina. Thanks for having me here.
Of course. So you were able to, when was the official close again? December, what was the date?
I think it was like December 15th, I believe. It moved a couple of days up and down, but I think it was finally done on the 15th.
I know we got it done right before Christmas. That
Yeah,
was our
right.
goal. That was our goal. And what was unique about this one was it was strategic acquirer. So they wanted to get all their ducks in a row before formally announcing it. And that's kind of rare. So we just, you were able to announce it on January 16th. So all of
Right.
us were waiting for that moment when you can announce. So that's amazing. I always like to ask, well, first, let me say we do these interviews because sellers don't know, the process and they don't know what to expect. And, I know we're going to touch on it, but they don't even know if their company was
Right.
sellable. So that's why we do these interviews. So thank you again for coming on.
Yeah, of
So
course.
let's start with how long did you have the business and talk more about support ops.
Yeah, so support ops, I would say kind of happened by accident. I was working full time about 4 years ago and noticed that most of the businesses that I worked at needed help setting up their CRM or help desk software. So I went on Upwork, I did some searching, and I found that there's really high demand for small businesses looking for freelancers that could help them set up their ZenDesk account specifically. So I started doing some low-paying jobs, about $50 for an entire, setup, and moved up to $100. So after a couple of months of doing it, raising my price, I said, okay, this could possibly be a business and something that I could work on at least 20 hours a week. So made it official, went through a couple of names. I don't even remember what the old names were, but landed on support ops because that encompasses really everything that happens when you're working with a customer support team and need to help them set up their help desk or make them more efficient. So landed on support ops, put up a landing page, and that kind of made it official. So started advertising that, building the brand, and before you know it, I had my LLC, had my tax ID, and I was operating as a business.
Oh my God, I love that. And let's touch on the fact that you built this company while right now you're working full time. I think you were the
Yeah.
whole time, right? You have a full-time job
Yep.
currently with Ultimate and kind of the stack of what and now Partner Hero bought you out. So it was a strategic. So I know you guys were doing the operations with support ops. Ultimate
Right.
is kind of the AI automation component. And then Partner Heroes is like the skilled humans. It's a big company. So kind of, talk about how those, they're
Yeah.
complementary to each other. It's not like competition and they all,
Right.
they all know about each other.
Yeah. So I spent over a decade in customer support. So I started out as a customer support agent, became a support manager, worked in support operations myself, then started support ops. So I knew I wanted to stay within that industry. By moving into ZenDesk, I was able to help my clients help their customers. And throughout the entire time, I worked in a customer support role. I think I took like a 6 month break in between just to try out support ops full time. But ultimately, I found that I love working a full time job where I'm able to, number one, secure income and take more risk with my business. But number two, I get to learn so much being at a full time job. And now at Ultimate, I'm learning the next wave and I'm learning the future of customer support is going to be AI and automation. So it's always a perfect blend of having a side project or a side business with a full time job, especially if they complement each other. And then when we sought out Partner Hero as a buyer, I think that was a perfect match because they're also in that customer support industry. All three businesses, whether it's Ultimate, Support Ops, or Partner Hero, have a different product or service, but again, they all complement each other in some way.
And is that the number one reason why Partner Hero wanted to acquire you?
Yeah, so their customers use ZenDesk, so they do outsourcing for customer support. So they're experts at hiring and training employees and then outsourcing them and putting them with small and medium-sized businesses. What Support Ops is able to do within their organization is not only help them with the outsource process, but we're able to set up that customer's ZenDesk account as well. So now they have a really clean CRM and the staff that's able to use that CRM and assist their end users.
And it definitely was an acqui-hire too, because they wanted you.
Yeah,
So they gave you
right,
a really nice, generous salary, and you were
right.
excited about that. And so you're still working at Ultimate, and now you're going to work for
Yeah,
them. I always wonder, and you were so responsive during the entire process. Like we were texting back and forth all the time, and you really pushed the deal, help push the deal forward. Even though I kept saying, "Hey, that's what you're paying us to do," but
right.
you liked it, and you were so active in helping. But I was like, how does Hosam have so much time to do all this stuff? It's so crazy, but it's so impressive. But I definitely want you to name off your big names that you SupportOps that your company was working with.
Yeah, so I personally had a contract with Snap Inc., which is the owner of Snapchat and several other products. Blockchain.com, one of the largest cryptocurrencies exchanges in the world. Simply Hired, which is a child company of Indeed, also a huge name in job sourcing and recruiting. Those are probably the top three biggest names that are familiar to everybody, but then have a ton of other clients that are in the small, medium business space with valuations from anywhere like 500 million to $1 billion.
Oh my God, that's amazing. And yeah, we turn away about 90% of clients. Main reason, I'm doing some deep due diligence, like a crazy person.
Right,
Like I'm all up, I'm on Reddit, I'm on Facebook comments, I'm just digging. Like we want to work with companies that have a, spectacular reputation, well built, etc., because we know we can sell them quickly. And for higher multiples, and we'll talk about that in a second, on your purchase price. But yeah, we had one this week that they had like massive Better Business Bureau, massive like complaints,
right,
horrible. And like I couldn't even take the call, right? They
right.
wanted to sell, and I told my team like, I sent the link, and I was like, yeah, no can do, unfortunately. But yeah, you had an incredible reputation, and
Thank
it's
you.
exciting to see what Partner Hero, like what they're going to do with your company. So, okay, now let me ask you this. Did you either have an exit price in mind that you were working towards? Did you have
Right.
a date of when you wanted to exit? Or were you just feeling it out and just what happens, happens? Tell me about that.
Yeah, so consulting is a tough job. It takes a lot of energy, especially when it's a one-person business, because you have to do sales, marketing, maintain the brand, and then you also have to do the fulfillment yourself as well, right? So you'll see, and you saw it in my P&L, there's months that I do heavy selling, and then the selling goes down because in that month or so, I'm fulfilling all the orders that I've completed. So towards the end of towards the end of 2022. I was feeling like, okay, there's something that needs to happen here, right? And kind of the thing that comes to most people's mind when they're a one-person business is, yeah, maybe I'll shut down my business, give it to a buddy that could continue on, or possibly sell it, right? So selling was like really the last option. I was thinking like very low five-figure sale price. I'm like, who's going to want to buy this business? The business is really just me doing consulting. And I found I constantly heard about micro acquire, which is now acquire.com, through Andrew's, the founder's post on LinkedIn. And I was like, let me browse this, right? Let me start thinking about maybe a business that I could build that I could sell, right? So I didn't even have the intention of selling my own business at the time. But after going through a couple of the listings, I realized that, wait, I could actually sell my business maybe for low five figures. That's when I found out that I needed a professional to help me. So I went through the advisor section. I looked up who had the most reviews, who had the best reviews. You were the one. I was like, yeah, she probably only deals with multi-million-dollar deals, but let me give it a shot. Let me contact Christine. So at that point, that's kind of when it clicked. I was like, okay, this is becoming real, right? Now I'm going to possibly sell my business. I need to figure out how much I could sell it for. So I didn't necessarily have an idea prior to getting in contact with you if I even wanted to sell or how much I wanted to sell for. But talking with you is kind of what accelerated that and cemented really the valuation amount and the idea that selling is the best option.
And I can't remember, did you speak with any other advisors, or was it just me?
I contacted probably two or three, and the responses I got back were number one, late, and number two, just didn't sound legit. they're probably great advisors. I just never connected with them, I would say.
Okay, got it. And then, yes, you reached out to us and you know, in hindsight, I'm like, oh, I should just grabbed your company because you had it so low, right? I was like,
Right.
this is like way too low. Like,
Yeah.
and I get excited, like the look on people's face, you know, on that initial call when I
Right.
say, like back the napkin math off the top of my head, this is how much your company's worth. And just the
Right.
look on your face and like, and then watching you guys take to the finish line is great, right? I was
Yeah.
like, oh my God, this is such an incredible company. I should pick it up.
Yeah.
So that was fun. And so, and you're 34 years old, so you're young. I tell everybody this, most our clients are in their 20s or 30s. It's their first exit. They've built
Yeah.
amazing companies. It's really cool. They're serial entrepreneurs. So they're like, they get bored. They're ready to go to the next adventure. Our oldest seller right now is 47. Yeah. So we're, you know, 20s, 30s, 40s. It's
Yeah.
really cool to support you guys on your first exit. And what was and then we got you what, an offer in what, 2 weeks, all cash, over asking. So what was your
Right.
first like feeling when you saw that LOI?
It was surprising. Like it's first I didn't expect over asking, right? You always expect that somebody's gonna lowball you, and we got some lowball offers as well. But getting over asking is like, okay, like kind of like pinch me, like, is this happening, right? And then from then on, once you get the LOI, then everything's accelerated and we're moving super fast, and we see the finish line. It's actually becoming a reality, and you're like, okay, a check's going to come pretty soon, right? Or a direct deposit's going to come pretty soon. So it's a really exciting thing. And again, it just like clicks it into reality, and it feels good.
Cool. And every single seller when and we got a big one yesterday, like full price 3.5. Knock
Right.
on wood, I don't want to jinx it, but I
Yeah.
tell every single seller, I'm like, do not spend this money,
Right.
even in your head. Do not spend it, not even in your head. Don't
Yeah.
daydream about, you know, the stuff you're gonna buy. And so were you good about that? Like until the
Yeah.
day the money's wired into your account, like do not do that.
Yeah. And even afterwards, like I think you gave me this advice, or Khaled on your team gave me this advice, is like just kind of let the money sit there for 6 to 12 months. And remember, you have to pay fees, you have to pay taxes, so those things are real, and you don't want to spend that money, um, too quickly. And yeah, I think the best advice I could give, again, like keep it keep it in your account, don't spend it. And for me, this wasn't like a crazy large amount, right? So it's not like life changing in a way that I'm going to go buy 4 new cars. But having the full time job for me is really important to say, okay, whether this deal happens or it doesn't, I still have income, and that's my primary source. That's what's going to pay the bills. Whatever I make from this could be an investment. It could be, for a mortgage or whatever I want to do down the line, like a responsible purchase. So that's another great reason to have the full time job.
Cool. And that was definitely Khaled that said that. He has more
Yeah.
self-control than I do.
Right.
So, I mean, even when I exited, I probably I did make the mistake because it was supposed to close at a certain time. It was done deal.
Right.
And I had planned what car I was going to buy and its donation check.
Yeah.
It was all like, and I shouldn't have done that. I got delayed the closing. So I'm like, why did I do that? But then the second I get the cash in the bank, you know, the tax is important, guys, because
Right.
early on, my first exit, I got really screwed because I didn't save the money for the
Yeah.
taxes. It was not good. And that was a long time
Right.
ago. It was like 40K tax bill showed up. And I'm like, uh-oh, what did I do? I invested the money in the
Yeah.
next venture. So definitely set the money. I agree with put the money for the taxes aside.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Again, we got listeners that are conservative. We got people watching this that are impulsive. So,
Yeah.
do your thing.
Yeah. I have a like, and this is by choice. I have a $2,000 Honda Civic 2002 with like 160,000 miles. No car payment, nothing. So I'm happy with that. And for me, it's better to, again, put that money in a responsible investment, and then pay your dues to IRS and and everything else.
No, we talked about that out the gate. You're super smart. You already own rental property, and that's paying you. Yeah, new car's not
Right.
gonna, that's a big liability,
Yeah,
not paying you. So you already own real estate and you're like, hey, this is great. Like I can use
right.
this money to buy more real estate. And I'm a massive fan of that.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Yeah. So you'll have a lot of streams. You'll have all these different streams of income coming in. So we're gonna wrap up soon, but
Okay.
couple things. Last questions. How did you tell, because you did work with contractors, so you were one man show, but
Yeah.
you still had contractors.
Right.
How did you, and they'd been there for a little bit. How long were they with you and how did you tell them?
Yeah. So first I want to just give a shout out to both of them. They're probably the best people I've got to work with in my career. First one is Gabby. He's been a childhood friend. We knew each other for 30 years, met on the playground before kindergarten. And the other one is Aaron. I met him about a year ago. Probably smartest ZenDesk admin out there. And I'm just so lucky to get to work with them both. So because of the relationship I had with them, I told them before I even decided to contact you and say, hey, this is something I want to do. This may or may not affect your income with me. You know, they also both work full time or run their own business. So this has been a side project for them. And they were super supportive. Luckily, the three of us still get to work together. They came on as contractors, partner hero. But yeah, just being super transparent with anybody you work with, whether it's an employee, a freelancer, a partner that you live with, right? Sharing that information early on is super important. And 99.99% of the time, they're going to be supportive, regardless of whether it's going to personally affect them or not.
And what about your clients?
Clients, we only told the ones that I was currently working with. We kept it very high level and let them know, hey, this is something that we're thinking of doing. We don't know the buyer yet, but essentially, since I'm staying in the business, the relationship doesn't stay. Like my day to day does not change, hasn't changed at all, right? Because I'm still helping those clients, working with them. So they didn't mind because they would still get the service that they were getting before. But now they know that they have tons of, well, SupportOps has tons of backup and resources to even offer them better services and different services.
And then let's dive into the strategic, again, there's a lot of companies that, a strategic's going to acquire them. Like there's no doubt about it. Right. So like, why did you, and you're now working for them. So you
Yeah.
want to make sure your company goes to the right strategic and you're willing to work with them. So with Partner Hero, like what were the main reasons that you're like, okay, this is a great company?
Yeah, like you and I did some outreach because we really wanted specific companies to know about the company being for sale. Partner Hero was top choice because again, they're in the same industry. They have exactly what I was missing, right? So I love the sales and marketing aspect of the business, but I can't necessarily continue to fulfill the way I was fulfilling. And they have they have all the outsourced customer support agents and operations people that know ZenDesk and can immediately take that on. So that was a huge plus. They have an amazing reputation, which matched the reputation that I wanted to continue to maintain. 5-star reviews in the ZenDesk marketplace. They're very well known within the CX community. They're always contributing to events, sponsoring communities. So it just made total sense for them to be the right buyer, and we're lucky to have them as our acquirer.
Got it. And the only thing that I definitely want to discuss is when a larger organization is acquiring a company, their due diligence. Hosam,
Yeah.
I go because I had another client with like a 20-page DD checklist. It's
Yeah.
Julie. People can watch her interview.
Okay.
And so she had a crazy one, and her company was small. And I was like, and yours like took the cake. I didn't even know there could be it. It was like
Right.
36 pages or something. It was like
Yeah.
it was like an insane due diligence process as if
Right.
you're like a multi-million-dollar company for sale. So yeah, but you
Yeah.
worked through it.
One thing that I forgot to mention, like another reason for selling was um, I wanted to I wanted to learn the process of how to sell a business, right? And again, I'm so happy I got to work with you because you taught me the process. And although the process was extended a bit, we had like comprehensive due diligence phase that really taught me what it would take to sell a business for, 7 figures, 8 figures, because it would be that same exact process. So I started a business originally to learn how to start a business, and I sold a business so that way I could learn how to sell a business. So when you want to do something, just go out there and do it. And even with real estate, like our first property was a studio apartment, super small, like, I don't know, like 300 square feet maybe, right? But I wanted to learn the mortgage process in case I wanted to go out and do this at a bigger scale. So yeah, just getting started is really important, and then just learn through the process. And if you mess up on a deal this small, it's okay. But you don't want to dive into a super large deal and then find yourself in a mess without knowing what lawyers to contact, which advisors to have on your side, how to do a due diligence process, and how to have all your paperwork in order from the beginning when you go start the next business.
Yeah, and you were so organized. You were creating spreadsheets of like, okay, here's spreadsheets, here's the stages we're at.
Right.
And yeah, I was blown away. And even, and you already know, I was just like, Hosam, if you ever want to do deals with the Magnolia Firm, like under us, like I know we're
Yeah.
already in talks with it. I know you're a busy guy right now, but I'm like, if you want to do a deal here or there with us, like we'll onboard you immediately because you're so amazing
Thank
at
you.
doing knowing the process, and you're a quick learner, and just through every step of the way, you were very involved, which again, you didn't
Yeah.
have to be. I kind of was like, Hassan, we don't have to do this. And you're like, no, I
Yeah,
want to do it. And so we made a great team. We had fun. So yeah,
definitely.
I appreciate you as a client. I'm so,
Thank
so
you.
excited for you. And thanks
Thank you
for
so
coming
much.
on.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Christine. And again, thank you, the Magnolia Firm, and everybody that worked with me. It's been like an amazing experience.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks again.
All right. Bye bye.
Bye.